What's up, Magical Misfits? Drew here, and I really had no idea what I wanted to talk about today. As I said, it's my birthday month, and I just had weird ideas floating through my head. Actually, today is Thursday. Yesterday, Wednesday, was my birthday, and it was the best birthday in memory. I cannot remember a better birthday. And it wasn't that there was anything extravagant about it at all. I woke up yesterday morning having had the most beautiful dream in which I interacted with my goddess. And there was a beautiful message in that dream. And it was just so profound and so vivid in my mind and in my memory, like even now. So that kind of set the mood for the day and set the pace. 4 of my gifts that I received are related to my goddess, so I'm not really going to get into them. But essentially, I got a book, I got a statue, I got a deck of cards, and my husband and I went to Lowe's Hardware and I picked up the rest of the pieces that I needed to make a ritual tool specific to my goddess's tradition. My husband helped me make that tool last night. I also got 2 house plants. I got an air plant for my goddess's shrine. I got a beautiful little pendant. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see what it is exactly, but that's a pretty good. I actually got this probably a couple months ago. We went to Michael's in the next town over, and they just had it with the amethyst, and it was like $9, and I think it was on sale, so we got it cheaper. But it's actually an green, which is amethyst. I pronounce it praesolite. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but so that's green amethyst, purple amethyst, green amethyst, and then white quartz, all in one specimen. And it's actually pretty rare. It's the second time that I've come up on a piece, sort of accidentally. This was definitely accidentally, but I snatched it up and I brought it home and I love it. So that's another thing that I got. Oh, and I got a new mic. My old mic was being weird and it was making weird noises in my videos, so I got me a new mic. And that's basically what I got for my birthday. I did get some birthday Twizzlers. I had birthday brownies, but really why it was so wonderful fully revolves around my goddess and my relationship with her and how that's developing and where that's going. And I can't even express. So I've kind of been in a weird mood. A really good mood, but unusual mood. I have things I want to talk about on my channel, but I just don't feel like talking about them this week. I spent my morning incorporating what I think is going to be a part of a new daily practice with regards to the cards I got in relation to my goddess. And I did a meditation, which I do try to do once a week anyway. I'll drink cacao and do a guided meditation as I'm just trying to get back into a meditative practice, or I may go into the astral, but I try to do at least one of those things once a week. I did not do either the week before. I did today, but last week I didn't, and I don't think I did the week before either. I don't remember, but so I drank my cacao. I greeted my goddess at her shrine, as I do every day, and I had already done this new daily practice that I'm trying to incorporate, and I did the meditation, and I got some messages about some other things I need to be doing in my day, and then the spring cleaning bug is coming pretty quick. I'm going to start doing, well, I guess technically I already started today, but I had intended to start doing spring cleaning soon, both, physically and energetically. And I just got in a whirlwind and redid everything in front of my fireplace and mantle and cleaned it all up and just reused it all. And I've just been in this weird space. And I was sitting here and trying to figure out what I wanted to talk to you guys about this week. And so I just went with one of my previous ideas. It's something that I haven't talked about on my channel that I kind of want to. It doesn't have a lot to do with my normal content, but it has everything to do with me, if that makes sense. Okay. I want to talk about The Sandman by Neil Gaiman. So this is the companion. I have the companion book because this is how much. When I was 18 years old, it was the month before my 19th birthday, my older brother died in a car wreck. And my parents didn't really want his things. So it was kind of, I got to pick through, and if there was anything I wanted, I got to have it. And if not, I went on my way, and, it was disposed of or kept for future generations. Like, he was a huge comic book collector, and my dad is still holding on to all the tubs, the totes full of the comic books for my sons, should they want them, or my daughter. And I did choose some of the comic books for myself because I do also. I like video games and comic books and manga and anime and all of that. I'm not as into it as many other people are. And when it comes to comic books, I'm actually not overly into superhero comic books at all. I really like weird comics. So Vertigo, DC, is my favorite because they do a lot of weird stuff. Sandman is a DC Vertigo comic, and it is not at all about superheroes. Something about it drew me instantly. I don't know what, but I read them. And this is before I was actively walking my spiritual path at all. But they had such a profound effect on me that when I was 22, I actually got a tattoo of the Sandman, Morpheus, the Lord of Dreams, on my back. I don't really feel like whipping my clothes off, so I'm just going to show you a picture of the tattoo. That's my tattoo. It's not the greatest rendition of him, but I actually drew it myself and took it to the tattoo artist, and he put it on for me, so I don't really care that it's not the greatest depiction. And honestly, Neil chose different artists for different books. It started as a comic book series, but then, as is the case with many large comic book series, it went into graphic novels. And I'm trying to remember how many there are in the series. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It looks like there's 10. And there's also a follow-up, just called The Endless. I have them all. My brother did not own them all. He owned, I don't remember how many he owned. I went out and got the others. If you're not at all into, comic book art, comic book style, then it might not be for you. But this is it's one of the first, if not first, graphic novel comic book to receive critical awards, like real literary awards. If you've ever heard of American Gods, either the book series or the television series, that is a work by Neil Gaiman. He's amazing. This book, when I got the tattoo, there were important motivating factors behind that were both conscious and unconscious at the time. Consciously, it was me fully stepping into my power. And that was actually half consciously. Now, of course, we don't need to get tattoos to stand fully in our power, but it was very, very significant to me on a mundane level, showing my strength and my power in this world for many reasons. You kind of had to be there to understand. I mean, I could explain, but it has a lot to do with my ex. At any rate, these books are just littered, just chock full of spiritual wisdom, insights, and just gifts. There's a whole storyline in here that is very much like shamanic journey type world. There's another story arc in here that's all about inner child work, and there's gods and goddesses. There's just so much going on. I haven't read them in years. I mean, this has been 20 years ago that I got the tattoo. 23 years ago that I read them the first time. I know I've read them again since, but it's probably been at least 12 to 15 years since I've read them last. I want to read them again because I just know that they are really profound on a spiritual level. I adore Neil Gaiman. I just adore him. There's another I want to mention real quick. This little book right here, Odd and the Frost Giants. This is a Neil Gaiman book for children, and it's all about Norse mythology. Essentially, Odd comes across some misfortune, but then he finds himself on a journey to save Asgard. And, he runs into, I believe he runs into Loki, Thor, and Odin in particular, but there's probably more, and the Frost Giants and the whole thing. I don't remember, honestly. It is definitely a child's book, you can see. But we got this for our youngest son, and I loved reading this to him so much. I just wanted to share that because it's a precious memory for me, and it's Neil Gaiman related. There may be more books in this series, I don't know. At any rate, all of this is kind of in the forefront of my mind because I am, again, 20 years later, finding myself ready for some more. I'm getting ready to get a couple more tattoos. They're very small, but for me, they are, again, about standing fully in my power. Now, when I stood fully in my power for this tattoo, which I've gotten tattoos since, but for this tattoo on my back, it was a completely different thing. And my power at that time was different. The place where I was different. But I just find it I find it very interesting, the timing. And like I said, because I am entering this totally new phase of my path and practice in my life based on this relationship with this goddess that I now have and where that is leading me and taking me, and all of these levels of initiation that I see myself going through once again, is having me look back in retrospect at all the times that I've done this before and what that looked like then and what it brought about and what came about. So that's kind of why The Sandman has been in my brain as of late. And I do really, really want to read it again. This is one of his sisters, Delirium. She used to be Delight. He has all these siblings, and they don't consider themselves to be gods. They call themselves the Endless because they've always been there. They all rule over different things. Despair is one of his sisters. Desire is one. Destiny is a brother. Destruction is a brother. But the stories are mainly about Dream and his realm. And Death plays a big part too, one of his sisters. But all of the siblings are in them through the series. I'm trying to find some really beautiful artwork for you guys. Oh, there's so many stories. And look at, how cute is it when Delirium talks? It's like these rainbow bubbles, and like she blows goldfish into the air and stuff. She's just kind of, she's just out there. Cain and Abel are part of the story, as is Lilith. More so Matthew, her raven, is part of the story. There's just so much going on. There is a whole part about witches, and there is, I believe, this is the story that entails going inward and doing inner child work. This is the one with the witch too. Thiesli is the best friend of a girl who goes on this huge journey, but like she does some messed up witchcraft. You can see that she cuts off a dude's face and nails it to a wall and asks him questions, and he has to answer. But her brand of witchcraft is a little harsh, but it's all so good. It's not going to be for everybody. Look how beautiful this one looks. Oh, there's a whole thing with a Midsummer Night's Dream kind of deal with the Fae. You meet Lucifer, who had his own spin-off, and there was a television series. It all came from Sandman. Lucifer was in Sandman, and then Lucifer got a spin-off graphic novel, as did Death, comic book series, not as big as Sandman. Yeah, I just saw Ra just now, or maybe it was Horus or Osiris, I can't tell. Here we go, this is all with the Fae up in here. Queen Mab. This part here is all about cats and Bast in Egypt and how cats were once worshipped and they're gods. And there's just, it's just chock full of things that I love and that most of the people that I jive with would love, I think, as well. There's parts where it is about there is a part where it deals with like superhero powers and stuff, but it's not your typical view on that or expression of that. It can hop in and out of different time frames because he's endless. So, you know, different interactions with different people throughout history, different situations. And I'm not going to pretend like there isn't ugliness in here, because there absolutely is ugliness. If you're not into any kind of depiction of violence or anything like that, then it's probably not going to be up your alley, because it's real. Like, there is ugliness. There's a lot of beautiful stuff, but there's a lot of ugliness. And it's kind of about moving through that ugliness to get through, to get by, to get better. There's just so much. I just can't. At any rate, it is a work that has touched me more than any other. Again, before I was ever actively calling myself pagan or practicing witchcraft, it made such a deep impression on me that I had to get a huge tattoo of the main character in the middle of my back, which was very painful. Took 2 hours, did not feel good, but was worth it. Absolutely worth it. This is just a blah video. I can't help it. This is, you know, me and my after birthday glow. I don't know what this goddess is doing to me. She's making me crazy in the best way possible. So, sorry if this wasn't really your cup of tea, but thanks so much for hanging out. And until next time, much love and gratitude.